What up, everyone? It's your boy Patty, but you could call me Tox or Toxin. You know the deal. You know the drill now. This is like clockwork now. This is like second nature. This is like reflexes, impulse, control. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Sorry about that, guys. I'm what you would call shot. I'm very tired. I worked an overnight last night, and I didn't fall asleep for more than like probably a half an hour, 45 minutes earlier, and I had to get up and eat some food because my stomach was, it was growling. That stomach of mine was growling. It was making all sorts of crazy noises like a feral animal of some sort. So for today, for this entry of Toxtells, I'm going to be telling you guys a pretty brief, pretty short, but also very funny story. Wanted to keep it light for this one. Do a little change up for you. And if you don't know what that means, that's a baseball term. It's when the pitcher throws a really kind of slow pitch down the middle of the mound, or whatever they say, right after a fastball. I believe, I could be wrong about that. I know nothing about baseball, so I don't know why I think I'm an authority on this subject. Anyways, so this story takes place when I was in the 8th grade, my last year of middle school, which means that this story would be taking place either in the year 2004 or the year 2005. I'm not sure which one it is because I can't remember if this story happened in the fall semester of 8th grade or the spring semester of 8th grade. So, back in that time, when I was in middle school, and I don't know about you guys, it probably depends on your age when you were in middle school, but when I was, specifically in the 8th grade, if I remember correctly, all my friends and a lot of dudes in general were doing this thing that they all thought was super funny. And that thing was called sack tapping. I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm sure a lot of you do. But when it comes to the sack tapping game that a lot of my friends were involved in, and many other random ass dudes were in my middle school during 8th grade, I was somebody who had verbally and quite aggressively on many occasions opted out of this game entirely. I told everyone that I was not to be included in this game and that there would be very dire consequences for anybody who decided to include me against my will. Because I thought it was, number one, fucking weird. Of course. Because why the hell would I fucking want people to sack tap me? I know that I'm definitely, most likely, in the minority on this one. I'm sure people listening to this are like, oh yeah, I did that shit all the time. It was hilarious. But either way, you guys get the point. I did not partake in this activity, if that's what you want to call it. So, we're going to talk about one of my very good friends. I was going to ask if I could use his name in the story before I did it, but I haven't gotten around to doing that, and I wanted to tell the story today and get it out there, get it out to the masses, because the masses need to know about this shit, all right? It's important stuff. So for now, we're giving him a pseudonym or an alias, whatever freaking thing you want to call it. And the most natural pseudonym that came to my mind for him for this story is Mickey. So we got Mickey, my very close friend. And then there's one other person involved that's a main character in the story. And his name's going to be Alex for this story. And I don't really know Alex anymore. We're not like friends. I haven't talked to him in years. I can't even think of the last time I could have possibly talked to him. So, basically, there was this other thing that kids our age were doing all the time that goes into the story too, that also pissed me off to no end, and I said I didn't want to be involved in it all, and it was called fumbling. And that was when it's kind of self-explanatory. Someone had their binders and, folders and notebooks all in a, stack, holding it under their arm going to class. You come up behind them, you grab the back of that, and you wrench it out of their hands onto the ground, and hopefully, for you, the one doing the fumbling, their papers and their notebooks and everything and their binder just go flying across the floor, and it gets just crazy for them for like at least 10 minutes, and you just ruin their life for a little while because that's fun. So you just needed to know that context because it has a lot to do with the rage I was feeling that day. Because early in the day, I think it was during lunch, Mickey, my very good friend, decided he didn't care about me opting out of sack tapping, and he gave me a nice wallop to the back of my testicles while I was walking out of the cafeteria. And like I was very vocal about all of the time when it came to sack tapping, I told him, you just made a big mistake. Watch your back, especially the back of your sack, because I'm coming for that ass. But you're just going to not know when. So just live in fear now, idiot. So, I think it was 7th or 8th period, which is close to the end of the day. We had math class with Mr. Cuckler. We're going to call him Mr. Cuckler. And for Mr. Cuckler's math class, I had Mickey with me. He was in my class. And I had Alex. And when I got to math class that day, the first thing that happens is Alex comes running up behind me. And he was like a short dude. He was like really squirrely and fast and tiny. And so he was very good at like getting you with a sneak attack. But he comes running up behind me. Before I can even register what's happening or process what's happening, he fumbles me good. And my stuff, back in 8th grade, where I really didn't care about school and I just hated being there and I didn't care about having organizational skills, my stuff was already fucked. So he pulled that shit out of my hands, and there were so many papers on the floor of Mr. Cuckler's math class, let me tell you, and he starts swimming in them and making paper snow angels. So now my rage, I'm BRM, I'm blood red mad, I'm at the tipping point, I'm at the top of the meter of heat. And like I said to Mickey earlier that day, after he sack tapped me, he had it coming. That's all I have to say before this next part. Because it was just like a perfect storm. Mickey happened to be in the class, Mr. Cuckler's math class, with me and Alex just did that to me, and Mickey did what he did to me earlier that day, so I was ready. And an opportunity would be presented to me that I just couldn't pass up. So we're halfway through class. We've been in there for a minute, learning math from Mr. Cuckler. Mr. Cuckler was a boring teacher. Very dry. Kind of funny sometimes. He had some jokes, but his teaching methods were very boring, very dry. So we're sitting there, nothing's happening. It's very boring. And one of the most classic things that Mr. Cuckler loved to do was a classic teacher thing. He loved putting math problems up on the board and then picking out students to come up and do them in front of the class. He said, "Who wants to do this problem right here?" And Mickey raised his hand. I didn't really know at this point, but I could foresee something possibly opening up to me in the very near future. So, of course, Mr. Cuckler picks Mickey to come up and do the problem, and he walks up. I'm sitting in like the second or third row, mind you. And right as he walks up to about where my desk is, Alex, of course, yells something at Mickey to get his attention. And in doing so, Mickey just happens to look towards my general direction, which positions him in such a way that he is now standing next to me, and I am eye level with his package. Giblets, if you want to call him that. And it was just like a split-second decision. I had to make the move if I was going to do it. So I wound up. And no, I did not sack tap Mickey. I hauled off, and with all of my might and force in my little 8th grade right arm, I punched him square in this downstairs mix-up, and he dropped immediately. He collapsed. I actually never had seen anybody collapse in such a way at that point in my life, at that young age. And it was so satisfying. I had so much anger in me that day at that point from everything that had happened so far. But on top of the satisfaction, there was also a little bit of instant guilt and shame. Because I felt bad. It definitely didn't help that Mickey was on the ground for a while. I don't think he moved for about 10 minutes after that, just in a heap, in a ball. So Not the best way to handle it, probably, looking back. But, again, I was in 8th grade. I was still a child. I didn't really know how to regulate my emotions. I didn't have the tools I have these days. And another funny thing about this is that even though this happened in the middle of math class, nothing happened to me. I don't think I got in any trouble. I don't think anybody ever got in any trouble in Mr. Cuckler's math class because he was so just completely oblivious to everything that was happening around him somehow. But that's going to be it for today, guys. That's the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had some laughs and some fun with me today. Go ahead and like the video if you did, or even if you didn't. Go into the comments, share some of your guys' crazy stories from the past that you have in your little story vault. And please subscribe if you're new. And that's all. Peace out, yo.
Yeah!